Good baby. Good job. Yeah. Very good. Today, Ninja and I worked on his social etiquette a little bit more, along with his loose leash etiquette indoors and outside. We hit a bit of that stubborn streak again today. He tried to sit in the middle of our walking outside. So remember, if he does do that when you're out and about in public, don't try to pull on him or baby talk him. Let him do the sit because he's communicating with you. He's letting you know that he's reached some limit somehow, some way. And so you have to be patient with him, allow him to express that frustration or that stubborn streak. And then if he does look at you, like right now he's focusing on the door. He's trying to tell me, hey, I know where this goes and I want to go that way. But what I want from him is some attention. I want him to give me his eyes. I'm going to see if I can wait him out and if he's going to check in with me by looking back over his shoulder to be like, Miss Laura, are you paying attention? I am paying attention. I want him to pay attention to me. And when he does pay attention to me, yep, that's good boy. He gets some cookies. So this just drives home that lesson that focusing on his handler, moving with his handler, is going to be the most rewarding choice he can make. Yes, sometimes it might be frustrating because he has other things motivating him. In this case, our lobby is in that direction and he wants to know if you're waiting for him. Yep, good boy. But if you are patient and calm, he will check back in with you to see what you have to offer. And that's when you can show him, I have motivating things too. If you just keep working with me a little bit longer, you will get some more motivating things. Of course, you also need to respect those boundaries that he sets. If he's sitting, it might tell you that he's a little exhausted or maybe a little painful somewhere. So if you can get him to move towards you, yep, for a cookie, then make a beeline for whatever your end point is of the walk. If you are heading away from the house, for example, and he suddenly just plops into a sit, try to get him to just move towards you that little bit while you stay stationary. I know, I got my hand in my pocket, I'm cheating. And then once he reaches you, turn right back around and head home. There's something that is keeping him from wanting to move any further, whether it's pain, whether it's exhaustion, whether it's simply hunger and a demand for attention. Can you give me left? Yep, good boy. Can you give me right? Yep, that's a good job. And down. Yep, love that. He is getting a lot faster about his down, and I really appreciate your work on that behavior in and of itself. He's only been trying to throw a paw at me maybe once every other time I ask for the down so far today, so that's good progress. When it comes to our social etiquette, I had him work on this down. Yeah, see that one? Mm-hmm. Yep. As people came and went from our space. So we started in our lobby where we had a little more room to work and some strangers that he was less likely to want to say hi to. And I would put him in the down, and then I'd pointedly mark if he checked in with somebody else. So if he stayed in the down, oh, so hard. Yep, good boy. And glanced over at someone that happened to walk by or walked in the room, I would mark and deliver a cookie for that. Okay? So this is very similar to our It's Your Choice exercise. So it's his choice to look at the distractions that are around him. When he does and does not interact with them, yep, good boy, then he gets a cookie from his handler. If he does try to get up and interact with someone, you need to immediately turn and walk in the opposite direction, okay? The purpose of this exercise, that's not how you get my attention. The purpose of this exercise is to teach him to tolerate other people around him without trying to drag you into the interaction, okay? So we worked in it down. Yep, I know I'm being boring. We worked in it down. We had people stay about 15 feet away from us. You're so rude. You're so rude. He said, Miss Laura, laying down is hard for me and you are not acknowledging my efforts. You're getting needy. Yep, good boy. Another thing I want to mention is just how much work ethic this guy has now. I remember when we first got started, and by the end of our hour together, he wanted actually by the end of 20 minutes together, he wanted nothing to do with me. He would just walk away from me and go sulk in a corner somewhere. And now look what he's doing. He's begging, he's demanding that we do things, that we work together, that he earns his cookies. And I love to see that. Keep doing the work with him, and he will keep wanting to do the work. So, to recap, when you're outside with him, practicing your loose leash etiquette, respect his sits, but try to get him to move towards you one more time before you return to your starting point, because that's the message he's sending. When you are working on social etiquette, practice both standing and then laying down and tolerating people walking by. Right now our threshold is about 15 feet away. You want someone to be 15 feet away. When Ninja looks at them, mark when you see him look away from you and towards that person, and then deliver a cookie while he remains in the down. If he does get up and starts to pull towards that person, your job is to turn and walk in the opposite direction so that he does not get to say hello to them. Because we want him to tolerate people moving around him, yes, without feeling the need to go and launch himself at them and say hello without your permission, right? Because you're a big boy and sometimes you could be intimidating, even though you're sweet as honey. Yes, you are. Let me know if you have any questions about these exercises, and we look forward to seeing what kind of progress he's made next week. You did such a good job for me today.